Bear, it was a pretty nasty injury to Hugh Williams at just before halftime, but he's okay, we hear?
Yeah, he's gone off to the Royal. He's okay.
Yeah, so it would have been pretty tough for the boys to come out after halftime, after seeing that, but they held up pretty well in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was real tough. It's hard when you lose a player, but then you lose your captain, and he's the spirit of the club. He's a close friend as well, so I wasn't quite sure what to say when we went at half time, but I challenged the young guys that we've lost both our captain and vice captain. Hugh Williams Jr., he went to hospital as well with some cracked teeth, so I challenged the young group, and to their credit, their third quarter was exceptional.
Yeah, especially in that third quarter, the back six stood up really well. They got a few balls over the top, and the forwards did pretty well.
Yeah, I encourage them to take the game on. Like, we're not going to roll numbers behind the ball. They're not going to learn that way. So every time the ball comes in one way, I want it to come out the other way. And there were signs where our ball movement was as slick as it's been all year. It's obviously just maintaining that for 4 quarters is obviously something we need to work on.
Is that one of the big indicators for you guys this year, just a 4-quarter effort? Because there were patches in the first and second quarters where they really got the jump on you.
Yeah, the first goal in the first 50 seconds isn't an ideal start. We couldn't get our hands on the footy at all in the first 15-20 minutes, and to the back end of the first quarter we actually started to get a bit of the footy, and we scored, so that was great. Second quarter we probably went away. We lost stoppages 7 or 8-0 from the centre clearances, and it doesn't matter who you are, if you're losing the clearances there, it makes it pretty tough. And I was really happy with the response in the third quarter. We just fell away again in the end.
With your ball movement, that a lot of the time it seemed like you guys struggled to bring it cleanly out of 50, a few just down the line kicks to packs. But there were patches that you did get over the top of them. Is that how you guys are looking to play really quickly on the break?
Yeah, well, we don't have the key target that a lot of other clubs have, but the way I see footy, my philosophy is that it has to be run and gun. You have to move the footy quickly, so whether that be hand or by foot. And I think you would have seen, particularly in the third quarter, particularly on the far wing, there was some plays that we did that, as a coach, puts a smile on your face, that some of the things we're practicing at training, these 16 to 17 year old guys are taking on board. And Shawnee Willis coming back inside into the team also, when you do get it forward to centre, is the person who can kick goals. So we've got a lot of work to do, and we know that, but there are some signs that we're improving.
For a young team, obviously, it was tough getting even younger with those big outs, and a few boys off on national camps this week. Who were the young guys that you really thought stood up?
Sammy Collins again. Round 1, he was in our best. He missed round 2 and 3 with his ankle, come straight back in, and he just looks like a player. I think, like 16, he's in grade 10, cuts the ball off, reads the ball as well as any kid that I've seen. He's a good leader too, so there's a bright future there. Kilpatrick, he's 19, so he's one of the elder boys, and he's just backing it up week in and week out. Clifford showed some good signs again. McGuinness on the debut showed some good signs. Paddy Walker out in the wing in the second half, pretty smooth mover. He's another 16-year-old, so the future's bright.
So there were a few big milestone games for you guys tonight, Paul. It was good to get a win for those guys.
Yeah, it was really good, and so happy to see Braden Webb kick the last goal of the game and take a big, strong pack mark. And he had a little bit of a different role tonight, but he's so selfless and such a club bloke that he just did it without complaining, and he was tremendous. A lot of stuff that people don't see in terms of his positioning, which really helps what we do defensively. He's one of the absolute best at it, and he was a real contributor tonight, and a great way for him to finish the game, and all the boys came off with smiles on their faces, so it was good.
On your defence tonight, it was a pretty good defensive performance. Even with your high score, you did set up really well behind the ball, and also I thought Josh Arnold cleaned up really well behind the play when they got over the top. Yeah,
our whole back group has been really solid so far. There's areas we can improve on, but it's early in the season. But for this point in the season, just been really happy with them. Josh is our backs coach as well as a player, and he gets it. He's got a really good football IQ, as you said, communicates it really well, reads the play ahead. But a lot of other guys doing a great job. Harrison Gunther was excellent back there, and I think Connor Salter continues to grow, and Brady Quinn today, was really good. He's only 20 years of age, but he played a really mature game tonight. He understood what North Hobart were good at, and he gave us some great coverage.
So when you guys did have the ball, you seemed to, in your better patches, you were moving it really well by foot. Was that part of the plan to take advantage of the size that you guys had compared to them and sort of cut through the air, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with Josh Grant and Mitch Walker out, we didn't have quite as much a size advantage as we might have. We just want to have that nice balance where we pick those moments to go quick. And you're right, it looked really good at times and cut them apart, but it's not sustainable footy to go quick all the time. It becomes a bit of a lottery, and that's something we continue to work on. We're in the early stages of the players understanding, how I want them to play, but they're doing a really good job, and I can't complain about 3 really good performances to start the year.
Yeah, up forward you did have a pretty good spread of goal kickers again, especially Callan Daly was kicking them from everywhere in the first half. I think he had 4 in the first half, or 3.
Yeah, and a heap of points as well. But, he's great. He's another player who understands the game really well, and he's picked up the role that we want him to play. He understands the areas he needs to work in, and the work he needs to do in those areas. And he was electric in that first quarter, and even through the first half. So he's been really good for us. But I've got to give credit to North Hobart. Those kids, they kept playing hard. And, we laid 85 tackles. We were really happy with that. But when we dropped off a little bit in the last quarter, I was really impressed with the way North Hobart picked us apart. They showed a bit of maturity beyond their years, and we know for them it's not about where North Hobart is at now, it's about where they're going in the future. And I just credit to them the way they played the game out. They certainly made our guys earn it.
Yeah, just from you talking, it seems like footy IQ is a pretty big thing for you. Is that ideally the most important thing for you, that your team plays smart?
Oh, I mean, footy comes down to winning the ball at the end of the day, so that is the most important thing. But yeah, you've got to have smarts. If players have smarts and they make good reads, it makes it easy for all of them. Obviously Hawthorn has been a great example. When they were in their peak, they always had somebody to kick to, and that's because their players had smarts and they understood the structure. Our system's different to theirs, but it's the similar idea that we want players to make really good reads and predictable plays, and that allows us to look like a really well-drilled unit. And it's a credit to the guys that we look pretty well-drilled already, but yeah, there's a lot of areas we just got to keep working on to get better. 3
pretty big wins for the first 3 matches of the year. Does that confirm what you guys thought heading into the year, or perhaps a nice surprise?
No, it's not a surprise to us. I guess I was surprised coming down here that a lot of talk about Glenorchy dropping away, and the bookies' odds reflected that as well. And I guess for me, I came in and just assessed it like a blank canvas, and I always thought we had a really good team. And not just that, a group, and I've said it a lot, I know, but they work very hard and they pick up things quickly, and it's a great combination. And they're really selfless too. So often they'll give it off to a teammate in a better position, or work around stoppages, the selfless work from our midfielders today. So I've been really impressed by them. The 3 results have been good, but I've been more pleased with just the steps we keep taking in terms of the footy we want to play, and hopefully it can continue.